Okay.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hey.
Hey, have you got a minute?
Okay. We're getting ready to record, so I'll call
Okay.
you later and walk through all of that with you.
Okay, all right, bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye. You just keep smiling. Oh. Well, welcome everybody. We're going to kick off February with sharing 2 new books and a new hook. So grab something warm to drink and come on and yarn over with us.
And I said, you have just made my day. Hello, my name is Susie, and we are so glad that you are with us again. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're brand new, we are so glad you found us on YouTube. And we are just a wonderful, fun yarn circle. You never know what we're going to talk about, but we try to entertain you and keep you company while you're holding your yarn and needles.
There you go. And hello, my name is Linda, and we kind of just look at this as girl talk and the therapy that girl talk brings each of us. So we are so glad that you are here. So another week has went by. I just can't believe it. And I'm so
And
excited about the new people who have found our channel. And thank you so much for adding little comments like, we found you and we enjoyed you. So we just feel like our group is growing. And so that's really neat. So we're glad you're all here.
yes, and we're experiencing some warmer weather, so
I
I'm
know.
But yesterday, we're recording on a Monday, and so you'll see this
Hmm.
later in the week. But yesterday was Groundhog Day, and here in Alabama, he saw his shadow. We had sunshine,
Yes,
and it was about 70 degrees. And so, what does that mean? We're gonna have
I
6 more weeks
know.
of cold weather? I
Oh,
hope
I don't
not.
know. I
But
don't
that'll
know. I
give us
mean,
that'll give us time to wear some of our knits, things that
yeah.
we're making, and yeah, so maybe
Oh,
that's not too bad.
that's for sure. And here, same. I mean, we have very similar weather, though how
Yeah,
many hours apart are we
about eight
from Susie and I?
hours.
So
Yeah,
Susie and I
about
are
eight
about eight
hours.
hours. Yeah, but
Hmm.
we have almost identical weather. So we also had a nice sunny day. And it's been beautiful. So, it's actually kind of hard to complete that hood at this point. But anyway, I want to jump into other things. So, but we have each actually discovered a new book that we want to share with you guys. So, Susie, why don't you share your little book? Because it's so fun.
Okay, so I am, I really have never done very good on Ravelry, keeping my projects there. I really am a goal this year is to do better there. But I love having something that I can write in and
Yeah.
turn pages and have it sitting close to me, make notes in it, or just to be able to visually see and to actually
Mm-hmm.
hold something. And so I went on Etsy and I did some looking around and I actually found something that I thought was a neat little book. And so here it is.
Oh, that is
Susie's
so cute.
2025 knitting journal.
And you
And
have it
they
personalized.
I did. You could personalize it, and so I got them to personalize it for me. And I think there's like 26 projects that you can add. So I'm going to let you see a little bit of the way that this looks.
I
So this
love
is the first
that.
page. And then, hold on a minute. So this is opening up, and they've got
Oh
some
Lord,
knitting
they need the readers on
abbreviations.
now.
Knitting abbreviations is what's
Neat.
there. And then you get into, you can do an index of your projects and what page number that they're on. So you got two
Mm,
pages like this.
I
And
like it.
then you've got about 26 project pages, and this is what it looks like. So here's your project page.
Oh, that is so neat.
So you see the different things that you're able to put in
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And so that, and then this is the other page. And of course, you're able to put a photo and even add in yarn samples for that project and, do the notes. And all the pages past this are the same. And I think there's about
Mm-hmm.
26 or 28 projects that you're able to put in this book for the year.
Right.
So, yeah, I haven't
That
started
is
yet,
really cool.
but I'll be putting so far I have gifted a baby blanket in
Mm-hmm.
January, and then I have finished some other projects. So I've already got about three things that I'm going to log that have already been completed for January. So yeah, I really like it, and I got it on
That is
Etsy.
so awesome. That's so really neat. Yes, we will include a link for everybody in case you want to get one as well. So, how long did it take to get? Just out of
Mm,
curiosity.
maybe about 10 days. They
Oh,
did a
that's
good
good.
job. Yeah, it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long. And
Hmm.
I also have ordered the 2025 journal from Lane Publishing. That was so expensive back before the new year, and a lot of places that were carrying that particular journal had sold
Mm-hmm.
out. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got an email from Lane Publishing that that journal, which was $25, and it ships from, I can't remember where Lane ships from, but it's out of the US, and it was going to be outrageous for it to come as for shipping, but the journal had been reduced down to 50%, so it had gone down to like $14. And so
Nice.
I really wanted that one, so I went ahead and ordered that one too, so I'll share that one when it comes. But some of you out there may have already ordered the Lane Publishing journal for 2025, and it has a date book, and I thought that I would enjoy that in conjunction with this one because this one's just primarily putting all my projects in, but the date book would be me making notes maybe for things that ideas I have for, our episodes, or, my daily goals for knitting,
Right.
putting that in the actual date. So I did order another one, and so I'll share that when it comes. But anyway, yeah, I was very pleased with this little knitting journal for the projects.
So, just out of curiosity, beyond blankets, I know you do, baby blankets, and you'll knit the same one or crochet the same one over. Do you tend to ever knit a project twice? Have you? Well,
I had
socks, maybe.
socks, yeah,
Yeah.
socks, and of course, that's just changing the yarn out, and sometimes I will, use the same sock pattern, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, I'm not. I don't do a lot of patterns for socks. I usually do variegated and striping yarns to where that it just creates the
Mm-hmm.
pattern.
Right.
I do socks more for comfort knitting, something to throw in my bag and have when I'm out.
Mm.
And so I really don't. And I love knitting shawls, and I have never knitted a shawl twice. So
Well,
I
there's so
think
many. I mean, that's
there's
that's
so
the thing.
many.
There's so
Yeah.
many like exciting projects to try.
Hmm.
It's almost hard to knit them more than once. Although, which we talked about already, I think I might redo this hood. But yeah,
I think I may redo the hood, in different
yeah.
colors, and yeah, I have been, and the hood was a quick knit. I mean, it took me a couple of weeks, but it was so easy, and it was so much of a comfort project that
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the I cord, um, that got a little long, doing the I cord bind off and then
Yeah.
applying, doing the applied I cord. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. But I guess to answer your question is no. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
don't, other than baby
Yeah.
blankets, and I do repeat baby blankets.
Yeah. It'll be neat though, and I know that's for 2025, but it'd be kind of neat to have a journal if you could backtrack some because you probably have little scraps of yarn and even go back and put what you have knit in the past and then put it because I think well, gosh, we've been knitting a while, but it'd be amazing to see how many projects we've all knit over the years,
I
you
know, and
know?
that's where Ravelry comes in. If I had have been consistent with putting my projects there, that really is, I mean, that is where that you can go and see everything that you've knitted. But I love seeing it on paper too.
Yeah.
I love being able to hold it in my hands and flip through
Hmm.
pages. That may have something to do with my age.
Yeah, I know. But yeah. Maybe, but I just it's different. It's different than just seeing it,
Yeah.
on a device. But I know, and honestly, I have I used to have that one knitting app on my iPad. I was so excited to get a larger iPad to have it. I can't remember what the name of that app was anymore, but we all had it about 3 or 4 years ago. And I just prefer to keep track of my patterns on paper.
Is it Knit
I'm
Companion
weird.
that you're talking about?
Yes,
I
yes.
use Knit Companion all the
You
time. I
do?
enjoy that.
You
Yeah.
do?
I do because whenever I buy a pattern, I immediately download it into that app, and then I have all my patterns there. And then when I start a project, then I'm able to mark it, rename it, and then and a lot of times I use it on my phone versus a tablet, and because you can make it bigger and you can highlight the line that you're
Mm-hmm.
on. And then when I go back into my phone for that pattern, because I'm on the go a lot, and when I open
Yeah.
the app, it takes me right back to the exact place that I left off, and it has the little counting, bar on the side. So if you're
Maybe
counting
I just need
rows, you
to
can
work
do
with it
that.
more. Well, when I originally
I
got
enjoy
it,
it.
I had an iPad, but I had a Samsung phone, Android phone. Now I have all the Apple devices. I probably use it more because I just don't carry my iPad everywhere. I take
Right.
my phone. So if I use it on my phone, maybe I
I
need to
use it on my
practice
phone
more.
a lot. In fact,
Yeah.
that's primarily where I
I need to
use
make
it, is on
friends
my
with it.
phone. Yeah, it is a
I'll just
great
have to make
app.
friends.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's so much that it does. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh, it's
know that
probably
I'm not
come a
util
long way.
yes, it has. And I know that I'm not utilizing everything, but I love that you can highlight and you can keep your rows, keep them counted. And there's just a lot of things you can edit, you can make notes, so there's a lot of things you can do in Knit Companion. It's been a great app for me.
So, how about the community out there? Do you prefer using an app or do you use old school paper and copy your pattern?
I like and
Or
I do
both?
like the paper too. Because sometimes you may be somewhere where that you can't connect to the internet or you can't get into the app, and so having the pattern in the bag, and oftentimes I do print the pattern, and the printed pattern is in my bag just in case that
Mm-hmm.
I need it, and then I'm
Yeah.
using Knit Companion as far as everything else. But anyway, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to revisit it. I don't even have it on my phone, so
You need to
I'm just
download it.
honestly, iPhones are they are there's so much to learn on them. And by the
There
time I
is.
learn something, then everything's changed and everything's being added. And, my daughter, she just always kind of chuckles at me because I know so much about so many computer software things. But when it comes to this crazy phone, I just feel like a
I'm
2 year old.
still learning too.
I mean, she tells me things, and I'm like, I should have known that, but I don't. So, anyway, they're very powerful. You really are walking around with a computer in your pocket. So, anyway, well, my book, sometimes I think I'm a little crazy,
Oh, a sock
but
book. We all love
this,
sock books.
oh, well, first of all, in case you forgot this history about me, I've always wanted to like knitting socks and I just couldn't do it. I tried and tried, and it was mostly because I never found a way that was comfortable for me to knit. In fact, I was on a group on Facebook, and the woman had the four needles, the double points, and she said, "This is human torture." And I thought that's pretty much how I felt.
Yeah.
especially when they're very small needles. And anyway, and I just would see all these people knitting socks, and we talked about this, I think, in our second episode, but I just couldn't really wrap my head around it until I found a way to knit them. So now that I like knitting them, I just figured, what have I lost my mind? But this book is so neat because you literally design your own socks. So I'm going to get to the part of how you design them. You flip the pages and you choose different toes with different bodies. You call them bodies, legs, with different tops.
Cuffs.
And so you
Yeah.
literally can make thousands of different beautiful, beautiful socks. But what's really neat is at the very beginning of the book, they first tell you how to do each. I got to get in the frame here. How to, oh, I'm over here. I keep forgetting where the camera is. Hello. But they tell you how to do each of the stitches. So, and they tell you how to do these socks with the two 16-inch needles, which is how I
Okay.
love knitting my socks. So I found that really interesting. So they teach you all the techniques first. They show you what those techniques will look like in your sock, and then you get over to the creating side. And so now I just sit and I'm playing, and I'm like, I can't wait now to knit a pair of socks with these. I'm not going to make myself crazy. I'm not going to make one that's too hard. But because I just make vanilla socks most of the time, like you, I just count on the yarn to make the design. But I'm really excited about this. But a little backstory. So I actually ordered this on eBay, and the woman who was selling it, she contacted me after like maybe a couple of days, and she apologized. She said, "Oh my goodness, I am so sorry I didn't get your book out. I fell and broke my leg."
Oh,
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, don't even worry about it." And she's like, and she said, "You could, you can just, I'll return the money." I said, "No, no, no, I can wait." I'm thinking I've got 80 million things in the pipeline, it seems. But I said, "Just get better." And she was very, very sweet. So if she ever sees this episode, love the book. Hope your leg is doing great. So I'm really excited about it. Thousands, it says thousands of possibilities.
yeah.
Oh, thousands. So it's a neat
Well,
book. And
that way you won't knit the same sock every time. You'll definitely be
well,
knitting different socks.
if for people who get really bored, yes, this is a great thing. But I'm in awe of these people who, their very first pair of socks, they're doing color work and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm still finding well, now I found one, but I was still finding a technique. I even like knitting socks, and they're whipping out little designs and all that. And they're like, what do you think? And I'm, on these groups on Facebook or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. So, anyway, I'm excited about the book. I can't wait to dig into it. I've had plenty of yarn to make something with, and yeah, so I'm excited. So let's say we have two books, and now we have to talk about a hook.
Oh, yes.
You have something new with your hook?
I
I
do.
know.
You know,
Are, are these the ones that I sent? The ones that come in all these different colors? You can choose like your birthstone color. Is that this?
yes, I ordered, that was one of the new hooks that I ordered.
Oh,
And before that, I ordered that, I ordered hooks from, I do not know how to say this. I have heard this said many different ways. Is it likey or like? Anyway, they make a knitting needle, but I did not know that they made crochet hooks. And so I ordered the crochet
oh,
hooks that I ordered the use the most. I ordered one in each one, and um, these are kind of a wood instead of a metal crochet hook. They're made from a wood,
oh, that
and
feels good. I really enjoy using.
and the
How
hood
does it
has
feel?
that.
How does it feel to
It
you?
feels great. It's a very smooth wood, and of course, I love that it's pink. I love colored things, and it has a deep. I don't know if I can do this. It has
A
a
deep
deep
hook.
hook and it
Yeah,
has a
I can
point.
actually see it.
Yeah, and it has a point on the head. And this is
Yes.
why that I love the Susan Bake crochet hook so much,
Mm-hmm.
because of the deep hook and the point on the head. And so when I
Right.
saw these, I thought, oh, I think I'll like that. So I went ahead and ordered several sizes in these particular
Mm-hmm.
crochet hooks. And I haven't actually used them yet, but I think I'm really going to like them. And
Oh yeah.
you can actually order these that they come in your little pouch that has all the sizes
Mm-hmm.
and have the whole set. But I don't use a lot of the bigger hooks right now. I use more of the smaller
Mm-hmm.
hooks because I'm crocheting with finger weight or DK or worsted
Mm-hmm.
weight yarns, and so I'm not doing a lot of crocheting with bulky weight. So I thought it would be better to just order the ones that I use all the time versus because the set itself is pretty pricey. So I just ordered
Oh.
these single, and then you had sent me a some information about hooks with this company, and I just ordered one because by the time you order the hook and pay for the shipping, this is a $20 hook. So it might be one that
Mm.
you get for birthdays or Christmas, or pick out the size hooks,
Or
but
look
they
for them
pack.
at a yarn shop where you don't
Yeah,
pay, or a
and
yarn festival.
this is the name of the company. Can you see that?
Oh, fire?
O
Is it
Fire Company. Oh,
Fire? Oh,
yeah,
fire? I think
OPHIRE.
it's Fire. Yeah.
Yeah. And it came in this pretty little cylinder, and it's wood or a hard plastic, and then it has the little stopper, and then here is the needle.
Those
And
are
that,
the ones I was probably thinking of. Yeah, those. They come in all
yeah,
different colors and
they come in all
sparkles and
kinds
stuff.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
And but now this has a deep hook, and it has a pointed head. And the difference with this one is they're larger on the
Mm-hmm.
and
The
the
handle.
smallest
Yeah.
and the smallest size they make is the G hook. And so I
Oh, is that
ordered the
so?
small, yeah, so that was the smallest that they make. Everything goes up higher. But this is made out of wood too. It's a wood crochet hook, and or maybe it's a
Interesting.
hard plastic. It feels like it's either a hard plastic or maybe it is a hard plastic. But
Might be a
anyway,
composite of some sort.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this, you see that point on the head,
Hmm.
and then you
Yes,
can see it
it's
has a
very
pretty
pointy.
deep hook.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm looking forward
good.
to using this too. So these are my new hooks. And for years, all of course, we've talked about how that I learned to crochet first, but then left that to knit, and for years have not crocheted, and kind of have come back to it and really enjoying crocheting.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
especially if you've got to put out a lot of projects, as far as like me, I'm always having to do baby blankets, and I've got three now that I've got to get done within the next few months. So it's like the babies just keep coming. but crocheting is a quick way to put out a baby blanket, and they're still
Yeah.
beautiful if you use.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many beautiful patterns, and using nice fiber, and but you can I can crochet something a lot of times quicker than I can knit it.
Mm.
However, I have found a baby blanket that I'm loving knitting. So I don't know, you just have to hunt the patterns and decide that if you're gonna, if you do both, whether you want to
Yeah.
crochet or knit. And of course, I love them both. I love doing them
Yeah.
both.
I mean, at the end of the day, we knit and crochet mostly for our own, for ourselves,
Yes.
because we like the act of it. And so, yeah, find a pattern you like in either or and just do it because,
Yeah. I'm wondering
yeah,
if there's a
I,
crocheted hood. We might need to look for a crocheted hood,
it would be faster.
and then it'd be
Well,
a
I
lot
did
faster than
stumble,
knitting.
I don't remember where I was anymore, but I was somewhere at a yarn shop, and Golly, I don't know where it was, but anyway, but they had books on Irish crochet. And I am telling you, those were some beautiful patterns. I mean, they did things like little, like not cover ups like swimsuit, but like, lacy tops that you
Hmm.
put over a tank. They had all kinds of just pretty, pretty crochet stitches, things I've never seen before. And so and then I've of course seen Japanese
Yeah.
knitting. In fact, one of my friends bought me a Japanese knitting book, and there's just so many things out there. Oh, there's just not enough time to do them all. That's the bad news. But so last week we talked about in our dark knitting episode about headlamps. It's okay. They're what are they? They're neck lamps.
Neck lamp,
And
neck lamp.
particularly the neck lamp that Susie had shown me. Actually, she made the mistake of showing my husband, and it had that flat bottom, which you could actually put it on a table, and it could kind of rest as like a little lamp and reach over to what you were working on. And my husband got so excited about it, he just like instantly, he just right then
He
and there, he
did.
just ordered it. He ordered it, and there it came. But it was not my first headlamp, and I do not want to disenfranchise my dear friend Kim. She actually, probably 4 or 5 years ago, bought us all a neck lamp that actually I keep in my camper, because in my camper, I don't have any lighting near me. I don't even have a table to put lighting. It's just, campers are small, and I have used that in my camper many, many times. And one time when we were actually driving early in the morning, I really kind of don't like looking out at all the traffic. It just kind of gives me anxiety to some degree. So I had that thing at 4 o'clock in the morning strapped around me, and I was knitting. But anyway, I wanted to clarify, it actually wasn't my first introduction to the neck lamp, not the headlamp, the neck lamp. But anyway, so my friend had actually gotten us one, and I love it very much. So, and I love you, Kim, too. But anyway, the one thing that we really did like about that white one that we showed last time was that it had that ability to just stand, on its own. It didn't even have to be around your neck. So, anyway, neat little tools that we can use to knit and crochet and or do anything in the dark for that matter, I guess. So, so what are you working on?
Well, this week, of course, I was finishing the hood, and so
Is it
I
done?
still, it's done, yes. And so here are the I-cord
Oh, you got
ties.
some ends to weave in, my dear.
Yes, and so I still have to
Not too
weave
many.
ends. I've still got to weave in some ends, but I'm gonna put it on one more time because
One
there
more
may be.
time.
So the I cord, on the front turned out really
That
pretty. There's the
really made it so nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is your I cord, um, and then it moves then
Love it.
into your I cord tail. So that worked out really well, and you just have to. One thing I tried to make sure I was doing is spacing and picking up because it's not like that the way that you knitted that it's just perfectly pick up every stitch. You kind of have to create a way to do that to where you're not pulling and making it too tight. I
Mm.
mean, you're gonna want this to hang, you know, pretty loose. You don't want to be
You know what?
you have to kind of go through and pick up those stitches because you on this side you are doing an I-cord bind off, and on this side you're
Mm-hmm.
doing an applied I-cord, and so it's a little different. But
Mm.
it's wonderful the way that it drapes and the way that it puts, it
It is very
wraps
pretty.
nice around.
Yep.
And
Looks great with your red shirt.
and then these I-cord ties are perfect.
I
So it
really need to make my daughter and granddaughter one of those. And
these are
actually,
just
my
wonderful. I
daughter-in-law.
cannot, and actually since the groundhog saw his shadow, I might really get to enjoy this for a few weeks. But isn't it beautiful? I just love it. I
It is.
just
It's very,
absolutely love
very
it.
pretty.
And then, of
It's,
course,
yeah.
when you need to pull it back, it's down and it's just a beautiful scarf around your neck. And then when you need to pull it back up, it pulls up. And for us that we don't want our hair mashed, this is just the
Yeah.
perfect project.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited.
I think I need a red one. I need a red one, and I need a royal blue
Yeah.
one, and I need a chartreuse green one, and I need a pumpkin orange one, and I need a fuchsia pink.
So they're back to my question. Are there any things that you've knit over and over? This could be one of the first things.
This would be one of,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be one of the first things. I absolutely love it, and I mean, y'all have got to knit a hood. I mean, you just
Yeah.
got to do it. Um, it
Well, for
it is
most of
just
the
wonderful.
people listening, probably they're going to have winter for, well, I mean, we're going to have, I mean, winter is not over here, you guys. I mean,
Oh no,
my
by no
husband,
means, by no
we
means.
have that whole, we have that whole roller coaster thing. And he's like, and he said, "Do you think winter's over?" I said, "No. I mean, it's only, the
No.
beginning of February. This is when we get some of our coldest weather, actually."
February and even sometimes in
Hmm.
March in our area can
Yeah.
even be really
So
cold.
we'll still
Yeah.
have time, but the rest of the United States, I mean, they could be having it till May. So go
Yeah.
ahead and start a hood. It's not too
Start it.
late.
But you really, if you've got time to do it, you can really do it in about 2 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks at the most, and you've got a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
garment to wear for the winter
Mm-hmm.
months.
Yeah, yeah. I
How is
love
yours
it.
coming? How's it coming?
Oh gosh, mine is I believe 6 rows away from bind off.
Oh, good.
So it's getting there, and this how this, and I did stop in the middle of a row. I know we shouldn't do that,
And
but
you're knitting yours with a more hardier wool, and so sometimes
yeah,
when you
it's
knit with a hardier,
actually yeah, it actually is really warm. Like usually I have a blanket on my lap, in the
hmm
evenings when I sit, and I don't need to because I can just put this on my lap,
right?
and it is my blanket. It's nice and warm. This is I'm we had talked about this before. I'm just really hoping that this yarn softens up, and I think it will just by handling it. Seems to be softening, but it's not been my favorite thing to knit because the yarn is actually very I don't know if hard is the word, but I guess it's
It's a very, yeah.
stiff, which is the same to some degree.
Mhm.
But it's I was like, I'm kind of missing my Advent now, which I was tired of
The
knitting.
grass is
But
always greener on the other
I
side.
know on the other side of the skein, right? But yeah, but it's going to be very pretty, and I'll, like I said, once I block it, we'll see what happens. But I'm getting there, and um, by the time we record again, I really may have it done. We'll see. But um, I just don't have as much time to knit sometimes. I just have a lot to do. Even in the evenings when I sit, I just have things to do. It's really frustrating, but it's how life is right now for me. But
I understand.
yeah. So, but I really, I really think that we need to um plan, or I would like to kind of plan what I want to knit so that I'm starting the projects in the season prior. Because what I
Right.
do is like, oh, it's summer, let's knit a tee. And then by the time I'm done knitting the tee, it's
Yes.
fall. And on it goes. And so it's like, here it's winter and we're knitting this. We should have been knitting this in August. And then we would have had it for
It's
winter.
true.
But sometimes you don't even discover them until the
Yeah, I mean,
season of,
I didn't discover the hood
yeah.
until the
Right.
winter.
So, but now I'm thinking, okay, if I'm gonna knit some of these for gifts, when do I need to start? And I need to really I need to be more organized because I tend to knit by the seat of my pants. And if I want to do gifts, that's just not smart. I mean, you're always stressed out because you're worried about it not getting done. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's what I'm knitting, and it's almost done. So, but I'm excited because you are really inspiring me with your finished project there.
since we have just shown you all the things that we, well, the two things that we are, are currently working on, we are thrilled to share some finished projects from all of you that are sitting out there watching. We told last week how that we wanted to start sharing your projects, and so we're going to do that again this week. And thanks again for those of you that are sending your projects, and so we're going to show some of those right now. We've talked about Speckled Finch Studios and their yarn club, and I am doing that this year again. I did it last year. I'm doing it for 2025 again. And this was the January box, and so we've almost not shown this because
Yeah.
it's February now. But
Oh, it's okay.
anyway,
It's okay.
they if you decide to be a part of their monthly yarn club, um, I just love the way that she packages everything. She takes a lot of care in how she packages and what she sends. So anyway, here is the January Yarn Club, and this is there's always a little treat bag that comes with it. So
Aw.
the treat bag this for the month of January, you got some tea.
All right.
I don't know if you
Book
can
lovers tea.
see
Love
that,
it.
book lovers
How
tea.
appropriate in our episode about our two books. Okay, love
There you
it.
go, book lovers tea, and got a little magnetic bookmarker to
Oh,
put
that is
into your book.
cute.
And I love to use these in my calendars. It marks the week, that I'm currently in. So that's a
That
cute little
is
thing.
neat.
So this came. And then, of course, she always gives you a little um, card that goes
Aw.
along with what the theme is. And then on the back side gives you some information. And you always get to, usually there's a little scratch off for a discount. I'm not seeing that today. But anyway, you can go in here and go to the website, and lots of little neat information there. And then she actually included a little project book. So
Oh.
this is a little project book, and it's got some neat things in the front.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And so just a little book, a little project book. So that was the little goodies that came with it. And then this is the January yarn.
Oh,
Isn't that
nice.
pretty?
That looks like it would be something from Chelsea Yarns. That's kind of her
Yeah,
vibe, her colors. How pretty.
beautiful colors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the January yarn box, and most of the time I get the new month around somewhere between the 10th and the 12th, which
Okay.
of course maybe it'll be themed to Valentine, and we can share that when it comes. But I love
You
getting those
know,
boxes.
I literally was thinking just about a week ago, I really wish I had knit a hitchhiker or some type of scarf in Valentine's colorways, and
Colors.
I have nothing. I have very little in red and pink. I have this, this top, but I don't have anything knit. And so I'm again, I have to be thinking seasons forward. I got to be thinking
Yep.
forward because I got to get planning. So
Yeah.
I would like to have something. And of course, if it's red, you can wear it for Christmas and Valentine's. So that's
Yeah.
the neat thing. So before we go, we want to encourage you to please send your finished wearables and blankets to us so we can showcase it on our Yarn Over. What are we calling this? The Yarn Over or the Yarn Circle Spotlight. When you send your photos to us, when you email them, please send them as attachments. Do not embed them into
That's a good.
the yeah, I don't totally, that's above my pay grade as to why that matters, but it does. So please send them as attachments. And all the details will be at the bottom of this episode and the email to send them to. So we'd love to see them from you. So anyway, well, thank you so much for joining us, and have a very happy Valentine's.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Valentine's Day.
Bye.
Bye.